Lou Dobbs and Sidney Powell made a lot of crazy claims in the aftermath of the 2020 election. Lies in support of the big lie, claims that the election had been stolen in many different ways. You might remember some of them, big ones like that. Somehow Hugo Chavez had rigged the election so Biden would win. But the thing is, they actually made more specific claims than that, even in the area of this Venezuelan plot to overthrow American democracy. In fact, they identified a particular Venezuelan man as being a part of this, and that is now biting them in the behinds because that man is suing them for $250 million. This is Majed Khalil. He says that Lou Dobbs and Sidney Powell wrongly wrapped him up in their conspiracy theory that Smartmatic and Dominion Voting Systems, the two rival election technology companies, worked to rig the last presidential election against Donald Trump. He says that he was first identified in a promotion for a December 10th broadcast of Lou Dobbs Tonight, featuring an interview with Sidney Powell. That tweet said the 2020 presidential election was a cyber Pearl Harbor and identified Khalil and others specifically as the perpetrators. And so in both their shows and in media appearances and in social media posts, both Lou Dobbs and Sidney Powell pushed elements of the false theory that Khalil was once the COO of an operation to rig votes for President Hugo Chavez, and that he was involved as well in the plot to rig the 2020 election. They also said, because why not, he's a liaison with Hezbollah. So there's also some terrorism in there, I guess. He says that he's never been involved in not only attempts to overturn US elections, but that he was not involved in any elections in Venezuela either. That said, maybe they have secret information and perhaps Lou Dobbs and Sidney Powell will have a chance in court to present it to the judge. What do you think, Jake?
Well, yeah, that's the good news, John, about the United States justice system. You can present your evidence, all of your evidence, any of your evidence in court. Go ahead. Let's see what your evidence is on how this guy and the ghost of Hugo Chavez rigged the election. Can't wait. Kraken, you said you were going to release the evidence a long time ago. Donald Trump talking about the massive dumps you guys were all going to take of evidence. Where are they? We haven't seen any dumps, let alone massive ones. And so, look, this is a really important story because when I saw them lying about this particular guy, I thought, okay, we're going to find out if there's any consequences in America for just wholesale making up awful things about people. Now, did I know anything about Majed Khalil? Of course I didn't, right? He's a random guy in Venezuela. But did I believe that Lou Dobbs and Sidney Powell had evidence that this random guy in Venezuela had effectively rigged the entire United States elections in cahoots with Hugo Chavez, who has been dead for 7 years? And that he was then connected to Hezbollah because he's got a Muslim name. I was 100% certain that every part of that was made up. Now, we'll get to find out, John. And I can't wait for their dumps and their Krakens, okay? And go get him. If he's connected with terrorists, I'd love to find out. He apparently thinks he's not. That's why he's suing you in open court. And so maybe if this guy wins, Dominion wins, Smartmatic wins, there's going to be consequences for lying brazenly and outrageously on air. If they don't win, that means anybody and everybody can lie about everyone and make up anything they want about you or anyone else and get away with it. So this case is monumentally important.
Yeah, and just for context, everyone should remember that in addition to this case specifically against Lou Dobbs and Sidney Powell, you have separate legal efforts that have already successfully disbarred Giuliani. Sidney Powell is targeted in the same way. And Smartmatic has sued Fox News and Dobbs and several other hosts earlier this year for $2.7 million. Dominion has lawsuits against several of these right-wing networks as well. And some of those have recently been allowed to go forward. So as with all instances like this, these are big cases. So they can be appealed, it could potentially take years. But we'll see if you can just have this gigantic multi-billion-dollar news network that makes claims they know to be false about virtually everyone being responsible for the news they don't like.
Yeah, and I thought you might have said million, so I want to be clear. They're suing for $2.7 billion, okay? So that one's gonna leave a mark.
Oh, that's what I meant. I guess I didn't say that.
Yeah,
yes.
That's okay. That one's gonna leave a mark. And even a company as big as Fox News is going to be deeply concerned about that. By the way, they took Lou Dobbs off the air right after the elections because his main job was to kiss the ass of the president. But since Trump was no longer powerful and Dobbs was causing them legal trouble, they took him off the air. There's some chance later they'll turn on Dobbs. I don't know if Lou Dobbs, because he's such a senile old man, even understands that, because they're paying for his legal bills. But at some point they can go, hey, you know what? We took him off the air as soon as we could. He's an idiot.
Yep.
We had nothing to do with him. Good luck. Try to collect from him. So I don't know if that'll happen, but I would look forward to it.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.